Although he's an amateur, Brian Zycek played like a seasoned pro in the last weekend's Mark Roth Plastic Ball Championship. Both he and Jason Belmonte, huge in the 10th, forced a one-ball roll-off. Belmo could only drop 9. Zycek got all 10 to drop. The first time an amateur had won on the tour since 2002. And that one dubbed an instant classic by ESPN was shown again Monday evening on ESPN Classic. You know, Zycek and company were there watching it, and he and I were exchanging texts in the middle of the rebroadcast as well. What a great match that was. I'm not sure I've had as much fun on the PBA circuit as I did watching that match.
Yeah, I think it's one of the greatest moments that I've ever been a part of, and you know, to happen to a guy like Brian Zycek, it's just such a nice guy. It was tremendous.
And another point, and you and I were talking about yesterday, what a great show of class by Jason Belmonte. A wonderful performer, an anguishing defeat, yet he comes back, talks live on air to you, handled it so well with Zycek's family as well. Just a good showing by both men. Here's Angelo, bottom of the 6th.
No chance.
No chance what?
Well, no chance to hit the right side of the headpin, but
a strike's a strike, baby.
Yeah, and you know what? You're bowling a guy like Chris Barnes, man. You throw a Brooklyn at him, and then you raise your arms. You know, all that does is it's like throwing gasoline on a fire. All you're going to do is really irritate Chris Barnes.
Come on, you really think that irritates Barnes?
Oh, trust me.
All right. I think he's got other issues on his mind right now, to be honest with you. And we'll talk about that in a second, what he was doing during the commercial break. Angelo looking for strike number 5. And gets it.
Hey, parlay's a nice break right there, but, you know, Rob, you talked about it. Chris Barnes on his last shot on the left lane came very close to fouling. Watch this. Boy, and that's about as close as you can get without having the red light go on. So what does he do? He changes sole and heel. This is the first shot that he's going to throw with a brand new combination. Remember, he got no practice shots when we were at break.
When's the last time you saw somebody do that?
I can't remember. I've seen, obviously, the players take the shoe brush there and kind of rough up the nap of the sole, but I've never seen them change sole and heel in the middle of a game. Obviously, this Barnes guy knows what he's doing.
Well, Chris, we just showed video of you making the shoe adjustment. What was the problem, and what did you solve?
What's that?
We just showed video of you making the shoe adjustment. What was the problem?
The approaches are just slicker today. It's about 15 degrees hotter, maybe 20 degrees hotter on the set, and the approaches have a little bit of humidity in the air. It's not there now, and so I just need a heel that stopped a little quicker.
And how did it work out for you? I know you got a strike, but I mean, did it feel good for you?
Yeah, so far so good. I didn't go Brooklyn. I guess it was all right.
Got to bring up the Brooklyn. Thanks, bud. You're right. I know, Randy. I know.
I can't believe you would question me.
I'm smarter than that. You're right.
Told you.
Here's Barnes in the 8th, looking for a pair.
And let me just say this. You know, Brad Angelo's not afraid to get in there and mix it up with you. He'll do it. But yeah, I told you, Chris Barnes, don't throw Brooklyn. Listen, you throw a Brooklyn at Chris Barnes, you put your head down, you act like you're disgusted and embarrassed, and you move on. You certainly don't showboat and get in his grill.
He wasn't showboating and getting up in his grill. He put up his arms. He was excited. He got a big break. You're not allowed to do that?
Not when you throw a Brooklyn against your opponent. No.
All right. All right. That's the protocol according to you.
That's the protocol. That's the PBA protocol, my friend.
All right. You know me. I'm all about taunting.
Now, just so you know, Brad didn't mean anything by it. He wasn't trying to rub it in his face. It was none of that.
Three strikes in a row for Angelo.
That wasn't a Brooklyn shot there.
Now.
Boy, did I not just say that Brad's not afraid to mix it up?
The Italian coming out in Angelo. I like it. A little Italian stallion.
We got us a little game now.
Yeah. And it's not just a game on the lanes. It's a game between the ears as well.
I think the words were, that one ain't Brooklyn.
That was a ham bone, Angelo. And he is talking smack to Barnes. Takes a seat, does Angelo. And what does Chris have in store for him in the ninth? Barnes working on a pair as well.
Hey, can you blame him? Guy just got called out for his Brooklyn, and now he's giving it right back. You know, good for him. Now, Brad Angelo can strike out and shoot 256. The best Chris Barnes can do if he strikes out, 249.
Let's see what Barnes has in store here, bottom of the ninth. No words exchanged. You know something's brewing inside of Barnes.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's just going to get up now and try to stuff 3 in the 10th and go, hey, try to match that. No Brooklyns, that doesn't count. He'll say something to try to get into Brad's dome. Also, he needs to keep the pressure on. Ball never
tighter.
recovered down the lane. You heard him say tighter and tighter, and it just never recovered down the lane. Leaves the 2-pin, and now he is in big trouble. He's only going to be in the 220s. Brad Angelo is already in the 230s. A mark here. Brad Angelo will just need a mark in the 10th frame, and Brad will move on to take on PDW, Pete Weber.
It's not often you see some verbal warfare here on television in the PBA. It happens maybe a little bit more muted. This one was pretty well out and in the open. And you know Pete Weber, who's coming up next, can play that game as well.
Without question. Tighter and tighter and tighter down the lane for Chris Barnes. And 9 is good because that forces Brad Angelo to mark. So any kind of mark and good count, Brad will move on. But I'll tell you what, I love the stuff back and forth between Brad and Chris. You know, these guys have a long history. They're friends, but you know what? In this environment, there is no friendship. Do what you got to do to win within reason. And then when it's all said and done, we can go back to being friends again.
7 strikes in match number 2 for Angelo, including 4 in the last 4 frames. Trying to drop a nickel here in the 10th. Big Yahtzee drop by Angelo.
Yeah, you got Brad kind of ticked off now. And
everybody's angry.
Yeah,
it's Easter Sunday. Come on, people, let's get along.
Look at the demeanors change. The eyebrows are going down. Brad's going over for, I don't know, another bowling ball. Yep, grabbing another bowling ball because this match is over. But here's the difference in ball reactions. Brad Angelo's speed's a little slower. He's got that tilt, more side roll, so he can get his ball to scoot the front and still finish really hard in the back part of the lane. Chris Barnes never had that luxury in this match.
The frustrations continue this season for Barnes. Angelo will move on with another strike. Angelo, your 4 seed up next, though. A guy who's really on a roll. Pete Weber.
Show, huh? Never before. Last show usually, never the first. By the way, hi, Leslie.
That was a live shot of Pete Weber, who's just about 10 feet away from Angelo right now, as Angelo throws his last one here in match number 2. Concludes with 7 strikes to close out this match. A feisty one, eventually won by Angelo, 256, 227. The last time we saw PDW on TV, he was busy giving an eager photog the business. What does Weber have in store for us today, and what has already been a little testy Sunday afternoon of bowling?